Hello and welcome to this presentation from easyLog. This video concerns our staff scheduling software, and it's particularly focused on looking at the ways that the software can tell you whether you've got the correct coverage or not on the rota and the various budgetary considerations around that. So let's start by having a look at this view of the rota, which shows us two job functions. We can see we have a function here called marks pay support workers, another one here for salaried staff. Let's just pick up on a few features here. Firstly, you can see that the rota is color-coded, so that marks pay is in red and the salary is in purple. Therefore, immediately I can see, although I'm looking here at the support workers, that Francis on that day, on Saturday, is actually working in the salaried function, as we can see, and that's confirmed by this tooltip here. Other color codings being used here, so even though we're not looking at this job function, I can see here that Olga is working in the patterns job function on the Friday and the Saturday, and again that's being displayed to me even though I'm looking in another job function. So obviously that's very critical, because somebody may be managed by more than one manager, that those managers can view exactly where the staff member is being used at any time, irrespective of whether they're looking in their own job function or in another one. Other color codings being used here. We can see the yellow here means that that person's off sick, and also we can see the details of that. And here this person is being used in another job function called materials staff. Okay, now other items of information around here. One is we can see there's some numbers next to each person's name. Now those numbers confirm the number of hours that the person is working in this view of the rota. The figure in brackets is the total number of hours they're working across all job functions, and the figure outside the brackets is the number of hours they're working in just the job function we're looking at. So hence you can see immediately here that Petra is working 18 hours as a marks pay support worker, but 26 hours in total across the rota. Notice as well there's some other colour codings. Olga here is appearing in blue. That's because the number of hours we're asking her to work at the moment, which is 27 in total, is insufficient to get her up to a minimum agreed limit on the number of hours that she can work. So you can therefore define a minimum number of contracted hours, and the system will therefore warn you if you haven't fulfilled that yet on the rota. The system will still allow you to go ahead and publish that rota on that basis, so it's only purely providing a warning. It won't actually necessarily put a cap on those hours. Likewise here for Duncan, he's actually gone to 39 hours in total, and clearly that's taken him over the top of the number of hours he's allowed to work, or the number of his contracted hours. Again, the system won't stop you from putting him on more than his number of hours, but it's just providing a warning. Now we can see here, if I go to the put my cursor over his name, the number of contract hours for him is 35. And his contact details there and the various job functions he works in. That tooltip, incidentally, is definable by you, so whatever important information you want to include in that tooltip, you can actually define that and display it. So as I said, what I really want to cover in this video is to look at the coverage information that the system gives to you. So let's actually now take out the salaried job function from the screen, as such, and let me quickly put you into the administration section here and take a look at how you actually define the coverage rules for any job function. We go into the job function, and this screen is displayed. Notice here we have a tab called coverage, so I'll click on that and we'll edit the job function, and then I'll double click on here. And that shows me this box. This is a 24-hour grid from Sunday through to Saturday, midnight through to midnight, with each of these little squares representing 15 minutes. And what we can see is that between the hours of 9 till 5, Monday to Friday, we need 2 staff on in the marks pay support worker job function. It's as simple as that. If I wanted to change this, let's say I need 4 people on and I'm starting to operate my facility at weekends, then all I do is go to 4, highlight it and drag my cursor across. Let's say I'm going to be open between 9 and 2 on a Saturday, and therefore I need 4 people. The purpose of this is now to actually tell the software in 2 places what to do. One is on the rota, because this is defining the number of bodies that you need and the headcount that you need in a particular job function. The other is, obviously because you've defined the number of people across a number of hours, it creates a budget, and this budget is displayed in various reports and locations throughout the software to tell you how you're performing against that budget. Okay, so I'll cancel on that. And we'll go back to the live rota and take a look at that. Here we are back at the live rota. So we have some functions, two main functions I'd like to go through in the software to look at coverage views. Firstly is this box here. So I click on that. What then happens is it pops up with this box at the bottom here to say, well, hang on a second, based on the coverage that you've defined, the software has found two places where we don't have enough people on the rota in the Mark Stay Support Worker job function, which is what we're currently looking at on the rota. So you can see here on the 5th of January and on the 7th of January, we require two people, as you saw previously, is defined as needing two between 9 and 5, but we've only got one on the rota, and therefore we're at the less than required number. So if I simply click on this line here, it will take me to this screen, and then I can look at those available staff and see whether I can ask them to work or not. Notice we have a tick box here to say, do we wish to exclude staff already working this day? So I can tick that and reduce the list down, or I can untick it and bring it back up again. This screen again is definable. We can add other prompts in here. So you might say, I only want to look at maybe a male member of staff because that's what I need for this particular job, or I only want to look at people with a particular job qualification or a particular status or a particular title in the organisation. So hence again, those things can be introduced as selection criteria. So let's have a look at Duncan. The blue here indicates that that's if I put him on the rota, that's where the hours would fall, as you see, between 9 and 5. Let's look at Olga. She's already working, so I put my cursor over there. She's working in the patterns job function, you can see, between 8 and 5, so I can't really use her. Harpreet, again, he's already working, and if I look here, he's working in the he's already working as a Mark Stay Support Worker. Francis here we could use, and Petra we could also use. So let's use Petra, and I'll say OK to that. And now the rotor is updated with that additional shift here, and now we see we've got the two people on in Mark Stay between 9 and 5, and therefore we do have the correct coverage for that job function. The other way of looking at job function coverage is in the coverage view, which is another tab along the rotor here. If I click on that, we'll then be shown an alternative view of the coverage screen that you saw previously. Now this again shows you per day of the week and color codes it again in terms of indicating green means that we have the correct coverage, that we need two people, and we've obviously got those two people there on the Monday. Likewise for the Tuesday, we need two people and we've got two people on. Petra's appearing there because although she can work in the Mark Stay job function, she's actually on holiday that day, so hence it's popped that up and said she's on holiday. Now I have a shortage here on the Wednesday, as you see, and it indicates here in red that I need two people, I've only got one on. So therefore what I can do is look at who potentially could work for me on that day. Now at the moment the view for this screen is set to just show me the working staff, as you see indicated here. I can actually move this out and ask to look at all staff that potentially could work in that job function. So now I'm shown on that day, on the Wednesday, the 4 potential other people that could work, and also whether they are working or not, which clearly they are not, because it's blank underneath. So what I'll do is highlight the 9 to 5 shift and we'll put it on Harpreet. So double click on him, and therefore you see Harpreet now jumps up into the top of that section, showing that he's now working there. The tooltip confirms it. He's working there with Duncan, and the other 3 members of staff are still not working on that particular day. So that concludes this presentation to show you something about the coverage options that you have within the system, something also obviously about the various details you can see on the rotor in terms of its color coding, sickness, holidays, the system copes with training as well, contracted hours, whether you have a minimum number of contract hours or a maximum number of contracted hours. So hopefully that's been of use in exploring this functionality. Don't forget to, if you want to ask any questions, please call us 01892 834406 or send us an email, info@easylog.co.uk. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.